Evening, Nottingham. It is now 6:30. I'll call the Board of Selectmen's meeting, Monday, March 4th, 2024, to order by starting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For those of you at home who don't know, the town report is now in. If you'd like to have a copy, please stop by the office and pick one up.
Also on the website.
And on the website, thank you. Okay, approve manifest from 3/4 and payroll 3/5.
I make a motion to approve the manifest from March 4th, 2024, and payroll for March 5th, 2024.
I'll second.
Motion made by Tim Derbio, seconded by, was it you, John?
Yep.
John Moran. Roll call.
Aye, Matt Sherlin.
Hi, John Warren.
I, Ben Bartlett.
I, Tim DeBrio.
If we have an individual question, like there was a bill on there for, and I guess it wasn't a lot of money, but like what are we buying from Cohen Steel?
I think that was Highway Department.
Yeah, wasn't that, I think that's cutting edges.
I don't know, I'd have to look back at the invoice.
But yeah,
I asked because it seemed just, it was, when I read through them all, that's not a normal. And I was like, what are we buying at Cohen Steel for? I mean, usually it's raw steel they're selling and like stuff like that, which I don't know where we'd find a use for, 'cause we're not, but I guess the highway might need it for something, but.
Sad.
I can ask
You asked a
Betsy for
question, I can get an answer for you.
It was just, I just noticed it because it wasn't, it was not a normal purchase, but it wasn't, it was only for like $300-something, so it wasn't like,
That sounds like a cutting edge.
yeah, I gotta know what a cutting edge is, so I just thought it was weird.
Goes to the
It's
plow.
an edge that cuts.
What?
Snowplow.
Wow, okay.
Sorry, John. Did we not approve 2/5?
No, not the non-public.
No,
We didn't have them.
the payroll.
Oh, no, no, that, I'm
It's
sorry.
non-public.
Yeah, it's for the
Typo?
non-public. You only got the public minutes at the last meeting, so you have 2 weeks of non-public minutes to approve.
Okay, who'd like to make a motion for the public and non-public?
I haven't had a chance to fully review the public meetings
Okay,
minutes.
And that I was not present for the 2/5 non-public, so I will not be part of that.
okay, and I was not here for 2/20.
So let's do them one at a time.
So I'll make a motion to approve the non-public minutes for 2/5/24. As written.
I, Tim DeBrio.
Nope, you gotta second it.
Oh, second, sorry.
Motion made by John Moran, seconded by Tim DeBrio. Roll call.
I, John Warren.
I, Ben Bartlett,
I, Tim DeBrio.
Matt Sherlin abstain.
with one abstention. Okay.
Okay, and then I'll make a motion to approve the non-public for 2/20/24.
I'll second.
Motion made by Matt Sherlin, seconded by John Moran. Roll call.
Aye, Matt Sherlin.
I, John Warren.
You abstain. I, Tim DeBrio.
And I abstain, yeah.
And we'll push the minutes for the 20th.
If that's, I just have
That's
not
fine.
had an opportunity to read them.
All right, so we're gonna put that off till next, okay. Nothing new for budget, that's done. Planning board?
Planning board meeting, was canceled.
Okay.
And they're this Saturday, I believe it's 10 o'clock. They'll be doing a site walk for the 17 lot subdivision located off 156 across from Nottingham Sand and Gravel. Parking will be an issue, but it is what it is.
Okay.
And for some reason, if it turns into a blizzard on Saturday, the next one is the Saturday after.
Okay. CIP?
Is that the same one, is it, would you say it's on well 156?
It's on 156, yeah, across the street from Nottingham Sand and Gravel.
Okay, it's the same one.
Same, what we, yeah, I guess
Okay,
same.
it's been referred to several times as the one on 156, and the other times across from Sand and Gravel.
Same place.
Okay.
Yep, there's only one project out that way right now.
Okay, Steve, yeah. Sorry.
He wants to make sure there's not two developments down there.
Oh, no,
It's
no,
been
just one.
sometimes mentioned as the development on 156.
Ah, and
Or the one
sometimes
across from
across-
Nottingham Sand and Gravel.
Right,
It's-
okay.
It's the
Sorry.
same location.
Yes, same location.
The walk is on the 9th at 10 o'clock.
Correct.
Where's it gonna begin?
At the edge of the road.
On the road?
It's a long,
Well, there's only one spot. You'll see between the two houses split up, it's right there. You'll see there'll be a sign that says this is where they are. Everybody's gonna be gathering in between the driveways, so.
Marston?
The dugouts will be completed in the next 2 weeks. Now the weather's actually warmed up. They're gonna put the trim on, and then we're gonna paint them on community cleanup day. So, but the roofs will be on, the trim will be up.
Do you have a date set for community cleanup?
Yes.
Okay.
It is April 13th.
13?
Is
Okay.
it the same day as Earth Day?
I don't think it's the same exact day. It's April 13th.
April 13th, okay.
Yeah. So I think that's when we're doing the community build for the gym set as well, the playground
what
as
day
well.
was that, Tim?
Saturday, April 13th.
13, thank you.
All right. Town administrator report.
I got a request for another Eagle Scout project. Last year, we had a butterfly garden that was installed over at Marston. This year, it's for, not this Ben Bartlett, but his son. He's looking to beautify the lower traffic island where the dead pines were taken down last summer. The project would include planting 4 trees, evenly spaced with enough room later on to add a flagpole in the center, which is not part of the project, but for future consideration. Type of tree would be sugar maple, and each tree would be dedicated to one of the 4 generals. A plaque will be placed in front of each tree. The area around the trees will have bark mulch laid out to cover the entire traffic island, so there's less maintenance to deal with, such as mowing. Flowers may be planted around the trees to add some color. This will be at no cost to the town. And because it is on town property, the Eagle Scout is seeking permission to be able to make this improvement, so.
And just to reiterate what Ellen had said, that it is not me, but my son.
So I would be looking for you to vote to approve the project as outlined above to be done on town property.
When does that have to be finished by, and when is it gonna start?
It's my understanding he's willing to get started as soon as it's approved. He turns 18 in May, and that's when it times out.
Will he be able to do most of the work on weekends? Does not interfere the traffic and parking
yeah.
during the week?
Yes.
I'm just throwing out questions.
Yep,
so-
no, those are all,
The Eagle Scout,
say again?
the name of the Eagle Scout,
Benjamin Bartlett.
is he familiar to you?
Oh, absolutely.
You wanna talk about it?
So this one seems pretty straightforward. I mean, I have no problems with it. I think it's a great idea. My question would be, and you wouldn't know, but for the past Eagle project, like the trail they did behind here and even the butterfly garden, like, is there ever a follow-up for maintenance or ongoing? Because like the trail just kind of, it would look beautiful the first 2 years and then it kind of just fell apart.
Well, I think that's the reason behind where he tries to make it as less maintenance as possible by putting bark mulch down as opposed to
Yeah,
growing
no, that's what I'm
grass
saying,
and
but this
so
one,
on.
it seems more straightforward, but with the
Yeah.
other ones, like the butterfly garden, I'm not sure what is gonna happen this year.
I think it becomes gifted as part of their project, and then it's up to the town to continue to maintain it.
Because they put a lot of work into it, and it just seems like it's a
Yeah.
waste. 2 years later, it's,
And we used to have a gardening club in town, but that fizzled out. Yeah, I just, when I started, wanting to do that again, then you have somebody to maintain it besides the town.
Would you like to head that up?
No.
No.
I was just, but we did, it was supposed to, I mean.
or even if the
3
Boy
years ago.
Scouts, it's an Eagle Scout doing it, if the Boy Scouts wanted to
Keep it going?
kind of keep it going, since one of their,
Well, that's something we could pose to the troop, going forward.
It would be nice that if scouts wanted to do something like your son in town, is that the Boy Scouts would take responsibility for what they're doing as future maintenance of it, just to keep it going as part of the, you know, what they're
Yeah.
doing.
or come up with a plan,
Or,
as far as
yeah.
who's going to do it.
Right, just, you know, something like that. I mean, that's, again, I'm not part of it, so that's something you'd have to reiterate to your son, to reiterate to whoever, and
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the Eagle Scout project to beautify the traffic island here at the community center.
I second.
Okay, just for discussion, I will be recusing myself from this vote, for obvious reasons. Motion was made by Matt Sherlin, seconded by Tim Gabriel. Roll call.
I'm Matt Sherlin.
Hi, John Moore.
Hi, Tim DeBrio.
Okay.
My next item is the old fire station is being rented by Emmy's Porta Potties. They were in there from November and will be there until April. We did a short-term agreement with them for 6 months just to see if it was a good fit for us and them. So, they are interested in possibly extending the lease so that they're covered for next year. So my question to you is, do you want to offer a contract extension? Do you want to do it time specific? Do you want to do it just for next season? Do you want to extend it out for 1 year? 3
Has it been
years?
working out? I mean, I haven't heard any issues, so, but you'd be
I have
the,
not heard any issues either. I mean, they've called a couple of building deficiencies to our attention. Obviously, we had we had an issue with the oil tank. We were able to, Selectman Welch was able to get an oil tank replacement, and they actually handled the install for us. They donated that, the labor portion of it to the town, so we got that taken care of, and I think we have some water coming up from the floor that the plumber's looking at now, so. But, I mean, it is putting the building in use. It is bringing in some income that we can potentially turn around and put into some maintenance items, whether, you know, we deal with the roof or the siding or.
Is the
So-
rent covering the cost, the heat?
Is the rent covering the cost? I will know better once we close out the contract term, but I don't think the consumption has been much. I think they only need to maintain a temperature of like 45. I think the lowest setting that the furnace goes to over there is 65. So what they were doing was on the colder days, they were keeping it at the minimum, and then when they were out of there for the day, they were just shutting the system down.
Might be able to find a different
It's nice to have
thermostat too.
conscious renters.
Yeah,
And she's
Just-
looking for an extension for the whole, not just for the
Well,
season.
for the next season is what she's requested, and I asked if she was looking for something further, rather than just doing the short-term agreement, just to put it out there, and they would,
and
If they wanted to go, would we just, since their term's gonna be up, the 6 months we approve is gonna be up in April or whatever,
Yeah.
we'd just do an April to April?
you could do that. I mean, they're only there from November to April,
It was that, so they
She-
plan on vacating for the summer and then coming back?
right?
yes, she wants to just maintain her spot. So that's why she's willing to pay for the whole year.
Again, I don't, that's my question.
Yeah.
Is she willing to pay for the whole year, or does she want, or is it gonna be just,
I said that I would put it out to you to see what you would be looking to come back with for
Yep.
a contract.
I think offering up a 1 year, just doing it year to year, let them kind of see how the financials work for them, and then we'd have like, now hopefully a year of data to see how it's working out. That gives us time to, Alan said he had like a list of issues or potential things to deal with the building, and then we can kind of go down through a casualty list and determine, like, maybe after a year, we'll finally have a grip of, is this building salvageable? Do we want to sell it? I've heard somebody mention something along that lines. If it's something we can maintain and provide some income and some storage and whatever, I'm for keeping a town asset, but I think 1 year is fair for both. It doesn't lock anybody in. I think that's a pretty fair term. If they're willing to do that, now if they reach out with that and see.
And do we, I thought we had a second tenant?
We do have a second tenant, I'm working on the agreement for that, it's just not
Okay.
ready to execute yet.
And are they looking for like a current, like a 1 year type of thing too, like a current occupancy or continuous occupancy?
Yes, continuous occupancy,
Okay.
And would they want the additional space that Emmys wouldn't be using during the summer?
yes. I'll double check on that, because as of right now, we have it kind of set up so it's a bay and a half, because we have to reserve room for the rec van to be stored in the winter.
Right.
Okay.
And that was going to be sufficient, so I don't know if there is need for overflow when the space is unoccupied, but I can find out.
yeah, as much detail would be, just from their perspective,
Okay,
what they're looking to do so that we can, I'm happy to keep going with the rent with everything
Yeah.
for them, because,
I have it sitting there empty and not,
and they're nice people, they live in town, it's a town business, so it's, we're gonna do it.
Okay.
In your packets tonight, you'll see an updated septic design for the library. Alan Trant was going to be in tonight. I actually talked to him just before we closed the office, and I think we've worked out, the previous design was actually gonna encroach the town's setback. So, the designer went back and reworked some things, made the system a little bit wider. Didn't extend it as far as out to the road, so now it actually meets the local approval, so, Dale Sylvia signed off on it today at the local level, and now it goes to the state for approval. So you have a copy of that in your packet, but that gets things moving. It would be a chambered system, so depending on how the parking lot design finalizes, we could potentially go over the leach field. And that would eliminate the original problem that we had with, the design was actually going to go over the leach field before we realized that it failed.
I don't think this one's supposed to be the chambered one.
You don't think this is supposed to be a chambered?
No. This one, when I talked to Alan, the chambered one was gonna cost more. And that's why if you see the dotted line, it goes around the backside, around the divert box. This one can be all basically done in-house.
I might have been looking at the previous.
I had asked about it, and when he got this redesigned to be wider and shorter, he said he inquired about the chambered system, but it was gonna be significantly more.
Okay.
We could potentially add the chambering on top of, like, part of it if need be, if the design for the parking lot needed it, but I
Okay,
think,
yeah, I see what they have is they took the proposed parking lot, so they actually have the parking lot going out behind it
yes,
to make the horseshoe.
yeah,
That would be contained in like the island.
yep.
So are they still gonna have to move the,
The Veterans Memorial and the
Yes.
flagpole, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
If you see, it's actually right in the middle of the septic itself. That's what that weird
Yeah.
squiggle is in the middle.
Okay.
It says granite, war memorial sign and the flagpole.
okay.
So they have to be pulled up and shifted down a little bit.
So there is a larger copy of this plan in the office if you wanna review it. I'm obviously struggling with it, so I don't expect anybody to be able to read anything on it.
So what were you looking from the board tonight?
It was just informational.
Okay, okay.
So I believe he is working on, he has a resident here in town that is looking, would be willing to oversee the install. It's an install that the highway department can do. Our highway director is a licensed installer, so, we could do it in-house and have that cost savings, which will be huge,
I don't know
considering
how
we
the
weren't
board feels
planning on
about
it.
that, but I would feel better doing that. You know, try to save the taxpayers money and do it in-house, especially where he's already certified. As long as it doesn't impede on their daily activities as far as what's required for the roads and so on.
If you look, when I was talking to Alan, this doesn't impact the walkway or anything. The only thing that's gonna have to be impacted is the war memorial, and the flagpole will have to come down, but it shouldn't impact operations into
The library.
into the library. And the library is currently, I think they're pumping the septic once a week right now, like the system is failed.
Yeah.
There is no, so I don't know if we,
All the piping is all
So
clogged.
the current leach field or whatever goes under the sidewalk.
I'm not positive.
I think I
of
saw
that. It's
previous-
not in here, it just says where the old septic is,
I
but
think a small portion of it does. It's under where it's all laid out for the irrigation system.
Okay.
does he need our approval to get moving on this though?
No.
Okay,
Nope, there's no approval required because it meets the local standards, so now it just goes to the state for final approval.
okay.
Did
But
we
it,
get- Did we get a price on another company doing it?
Alan is working on those right now. I think he's got one. He's trying to get a bunch, just so we have something to work off
It'd be
of.
nice to see what the difference savings of us, a highway department doing it, to somebody else doing it.
but do we need to authorize even buying the pipes or anything like that?
I don't think we're at that point yet.
Okay,
I think we have to get some preliminary estimates in and figure out
Okay.
what we're working with to find out how we're gonna fund it.
Well, we need a next week meeting to get this finalized and approved from us.
Possibly?
Okay, well, just wanna make sure that it's out there, that's,
Yeah, we would like to,
cause we can't sit there and let 2 weeks go by on a project like this that's needed for something like that, so.
And if necessary, I mean, I could try to,
Again, we're not, delaying it is not anywhere that we wanna go, so.
right.
I could try to, I'll get together with Alan.
What you find for
if necessary.
information this week, if we can let us know by the end of the week, that if we need to schedule something for, cause we could do,
You could do something on Tuesday.
well, we're all gonna be together on Tuesday,
Just grab the library or something.
right, we'll just have to post it, so that it's
Yeah.
known on Monday that they'll be at,
Voting's here.
no, it's gonna be
No,
at
it's at the school.
There you go.
Okay, so Ben, you already took care of the announcement that the town reports are out. I have several cases of them in the office. I left a couple over there if anybody wants to grab one. Some shingles on the roof here at the community center above the gym lifted during the recent windstorm. I think it was probably over the weekend. The Betty's basketball reported that there was water coming in the gym, so several ceiling tiles are now saturated with water in the back right corner as you go down the ramp. So I think Dover Roofing did a quick estimate. It was like an $800 repair. Alan was reaching out to Gary Anderson, because we're pretty sure he's the one that did the roof, just to make sure that they're the IKO shingles that he thinks that they are, just make sure they're color matched, and it might be something that we can take care of. So hopefully we'll get that repaired before the incoming rain later in the week, which could potentially cause more damage.
which is Wednesday night.
Yes, so we're hopeful for tomorrow. New Hampshire DOT has scheduled their public hearing on the red listed bridge replacement on 152 over the North River. It's project 40612. The public hearing is gonna be Thursday, March 21st at 6 PM, and it's going to be held at the Nottingham School. Originally, when they reached out, they checked availability of conference room 1, which, you know, we were pretty good there, and I guess since then, I think they are getting a lot of, public reaching out to them directly, so I'm thinking that they probably thought it would be in their best interest to move it to the school, which I agree.
Time is that gonna be?
6 PM.
Thank you.
So, there is a notice of public hearing, it's posted on the town's website, and we're gonna have it posted in all the other locations for them. What else do I have? NFRA is going to be hosting another American Red Cross blood drive at the community center on Friday, March 29th from 11 to 4. And next Tuesday, March 12th, is town voting day for the school and town vacancies, as well as the operating budget and warrant articles for both. All town offices will be closed that day. The school staff is going to be using this building to conduct ALIS training. We all went through it on the municipal level. We've offered it as a location for the school staff to be able to do it as well, since they're hosting our elections for us. And all the town staff that works in this building is going to be doing attending a mandatory staff development and training offsite. So we'll be out of the building doing some training stuff, and the school will be here in place doing their training. And as far as correspondence received,
Just back to the election, I'm sorry. So the day before, what time do they need help at the school?
we can start setting up as early as 3 o'clock. We have to wait until school clears out. So the highway department, they're going to load everything up. We're borrowing a trailer, an enclosed trailer again. They're gonna load everything up in the trailer, unload it to the school, and then after the election, we can put it back in the trailer so we don't have the same type of issue
Yeah,
that we did with the last election. With
it
it
all fit in
blocking,
there fine.
yes.
And just for the folks at home who don't know what the training is, Alice, what is that?
It's active shooter training.
Okay. Thank you.
I've already forgotten the acronym, so I wasn't a very good pupil, but.
Good.
And then the last item that I have for you is Ian McKinnon has tendered his resignation from the planning board. I know that this announcement had been made somewhat informally, but now it's been formalized. So just to put that out there, that there is a vacancy on the planning board, as well as the 2 vacancies for,
3 years.
yes.
There's 2 for 3 years. You got 2 people running for the 1 year. And then, but now we have his vacancy. Now there's 3 vacancies on the board,
So hopefully,
7-person board.
so hopefully there'll be some good, active writing candidates.
So, we face a lot of problems about having quorums.
So I know there was talks about,
And we have a good alternate that comes, you know, Bud's great, he's always here, so it's, and we should be able to get there, but
I know a few years ago, they had trouble filling some positions too, or was it the budget? It's one of those that we actually talked about,
Budget.
lowering the number of
Yeah,
people.
we actually had a warrant for it.
Yeah. Is that something you think that, or can it even be done with planning where there's only 7?
I don't think you'd wanna get it lower, any lower
No?
than that.
Okay. No, but if we're having trouble filling the positions though,
Well, I mean, planning's, is unlike any other board.
Yeah.
It takes you, the people coming in for 1 year, I'm very happy that they signed up, and I think it's great, and hopefully they'll find a good interest in it. But your first year and 2 years on planning is educational,
yeah.
because there's so much to know, so much to read, the zoning ordinance is 30 pages long, there's site plan review, there's just, and everything falls into, just quite a bit.
Well, I look to you because you've got the number of years of experience with.
Yeah, I feel
on that
bad.
board.
I wanna stay on the board again next year, just because I think it'd be valuable for me to be on the board next year. But that saying, I'm not gonna be on it after that, so. You know, it's just a matter of, I hope that people volunteer and get on board. It's good to know, but again, it is what it is.
Okay.
That is all I have for my report. Actually, I did have one more thing that's not on here. The, recycling center's recycled Ford F-550 that died a few weeks back. Everything's been stripped off of it, and it's not in running condition at all. So, do you want me to put that out for sealed bid for whatever we can get for it?
I think that'd be best.
What are you talking about?
The recycling center had a Ford F-550 that
350.
had been handed down, F-350, I'm
350.
sorry, that had been handed down from the highway department, and it,
Dead.
yeah, it's
Dead,
dead.
dead.
It met its useful life at least 2.5 times.
What's the 350?
F-350,
What is it?
it's a pickup.
A pickup truck, okay.
So who's bringing the aluminum, the highway department?
Yes.
There was talks about including the sander and the plow with that too, or no?
And no, the sander can actually be used, they're gonna hold on to it for right now. And the plow, I don't believe is going, actually, is the plow going with it? We'd have to double check with Steve. I don't think anything is going with it. I think it's completely stripped bare bones.
I just don't wanna see the back there turn into a junkyard with just used equipment that we're not using.
Right. I still have the hydraulics, well, I have the hydraulic sander that we were going to get rid of too, but, I think there's something wrong with one of the existing sanders, so Steve said to hold off because he can sub that one
Okay.
back in. Right,
Could
that's all I
revisit that later, I guess, huh?
There's nothing wrong to have a backup, we just don't need 4 backups.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Thank you. And that is it with, doesn't look like there's any for assessing. Action items review from last meeting.
I have the smoking.
The policy review.
The policy review. I will honestly say, I don't think I have anything back from Primex, and I did not get, quotes for signs yet, because I was out last week.
But-
Continue to work on that, but.
Did the board approve it last?
No, we talked about pulling together some signage ideas for your approval.
So, yeah, were you at the meeting?
No, I was not here last.
So we approved to have a non-smoking policy. but,
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
To make sure that employees understood where their designated smoking area was.
Okay. All right. And Bassett?
I think there is going to be, I will, hopefully after you review your legal correspondence this evening in non-public, we can possibly invite him back for the next meeting.
Awesome, good, get that off the docket. All right. All right, general business, discussion of posting roads.
Post them.
No.
What did I say?
I'm just talking out loud.
long day, thanks. Discussion of posting the roads and weight limits and all that.
I did reach out to Steve Rollins this morning to see what his thoughts were. The highway department's been very busy working with what they've got, but, he talked it through with Jim Caverly, who's kind of running things in his absence, and, they think that the spots that are problems or can be problems are small enough that it doesn't really require them to post all roads, because that's what happens, is you post them all. If it was limited to 2 or 3 roads, then it might be necessary, but he didn't think that.
Okay, but we're getting
warranted at this
we're
point.
getting a warm spell coming up, and March and April tend to be,
Not to say that it's not gonna change in a week, but as of right now, for this meeting, he did not request that they be posted.
So I took a drive around on Saturday to see what they did for work. I had some free time in the morning. So I went along a lot of the lake roads where they did fill and stuff like that. The amount of fill and rocks they stuck in there was great, but it's already getting soft. You know, they solved the problem for the time being, and again, it's gonna be okay, but if somebody starts bringing down a huge, like a dump truck that's, who knows, it's gonna destroy it.
I think that's why it's on more or less like a day-to-day monitoring at this point, but as of today, he did not see the need to post them. It's your discretion.
You know, we're posting them 1 month earlier, due to this winter being the way it is. And if we don't have a dry spell to get the roads drier, they're just gonna be even more of a mess, and
I agree.
I'd say post them today.
I agree. That,
I'm the one who had put in the song last week. There was that 1 or 2 days where it got kind of crazy, and I was fielding some online questions because I knew Ellen was out, so she wasn't here, and Steve was out, so I was kind of helping with the highway department. And I'm still learning this and reading in that Long Road to Travel, or whatever the book is. So he has to come to us to recommend. So if he doesn't recommend it, like the way the process works, he is supposed to say, we're posting it, why we're posting it for, and it has the words that are in there. So I don't know if we can post it if the highway director doesn't recommend us posting it. From my limited knowledge of what I read on that
I think
thing.
it refers to the road agent.
Okay, as opposed to a highway director.
Correct.
And you know, in my 5 years here, and then from what I've 4 times knowing, anytime the roads, the road agent was here to tell us that he wants to post them. I've never had a discussion where they tell us not to post them. So this is a new avenue, because
Yeah, I had her at it because I wanted to have this discussion to understand the process better, what you guys have done. And obviously, we're getting little bits here and there, but it does seem to be, we'll call it 10 spots that are like bad, but now we're just chasing our tails every day, like they're running around, they're end of Kennard, the middle of Mitchell, then to Stevens Hill, Dolph Dam, Ledge Farm, all these places we're just kind of running around and just keep throwing stuff at. And then, but then I'm even questioning what posting roads even does, because if anybody gets an Irving delivery or whatever, gets a fuel delivery, that truck's allowed to go on it. If somebody has a dumpster at their house and Waste Management brings out a 10-wheeler, that can drive down the road, so all we're stopping is like slightly bigger delivery.
construction.
Yeah. Which I don't even know what's really driving around right now. So I don't know if we can, without his recommendation, post the roads, but maybe if we determine we want to have another meeting next week.
but
and
you said
conditions
that was
change.
more geared towards a road agent. We don't have a road agent.
Well, I think the way that it's written, the hard road to travel refers to the statute, and it just pulls out pieces of it.
Okay.
And it says somebody's supposed to say, I recommend we close it due to, damage to the road, irreparable damage. There's like words that are supposed to be put in there that is presented to us, and then we post the roads based on that. Because it is supposed to be.
Posting the roads, yeah, it was up to like 35,000 pounds or whatever what it was posted, so. Most vehicles could still, even bigger trucks, it was just to the extreme.
So maybe table this to go with, if we have to meet on the septic or getting that septic moved forward, if we get any other stuff like that, see how the week plays out. But I know a lot of towns around here are posting their roads, so I would just be curious. Maybe that half helps us because they can't get to half of our roads anyway because they're posted, but.
Okay. So you're saying table this till next meeting?
RSA 231:191 allows the governing body in consultation with the highway agent to establish and post maximum weight limits when needed to prevent unreasonable damage or extraordinary municipal maintenance expense on class 4, 5, or 6 highways. Signs must be placed so that the drivers of restricted vehicles will know of the restriction before entering the affected roadway.
And they still have to come to the town for permits if they need to get across,
It
like
says in
IE
con-
construction, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And all those new stop signs, they can post them right on there.
I'd be in favor of posting it. John?
Yeah, I already said I was, so it doesn't matter to me, you know?
Matt?
I'm okay, but I wanted to make sure that the RSA, there was like,
As in consultation with.
right, I thought there was blurbage further down, like what wordage they were supposed to use, but maybe that was it. I don't have the hard road to travel in front of me, but.
Tim?
Which hour say is that?
231
Or she was here
colon
to ask him why he
191.
doesn't feel the need to.
Yeah.
191.
Yeah.
Oh, when will he be back?
What, next week?
Monday.
Monday? Yeah. He didn't give you any reason why?
He said that Jim Caverly, being here, did not think that posting all of the roads is necessary because we have 10 spots on gravel roads, because it posts even the paved roads. It posts every
All
road in
roads.
town.
You can't select.
Right.
Yeah.
The ground being so soft, pavement's gonna be affected too.
But with, I mean, I guess, if you want to make the decision now, that's fine, or we can continue to monitor, and if it becomes an issue where, I mean, it's something that could be an emergency vote.
I err on the side of caution. And I rather, because we're already having issues with some of these roads already. And if we,
We
you know,
have
I
more
know it's probably a month early, whether, but I'd rather err on the side of caution and try to help the roads now, as opposed to being a bigger problem down the road, should a tractor trailer or something get stuck on there, or even one of our around town trucks.
Right, we do have like 2 inches of rain coming in the
Yeah,
next couple of
so
days.
I feel better if we
Time
post
can
it.
Post them for. Is there a limit? There's a limit,
It's
right?
until they're lifted.
Until lifted.
It's not that big of a deal to post our roads.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Thank
I
you,
just
John.
wanted to make sure we're doing it correct programmatically. So if it meets the needs, then I'm for
Are you
posting
doing
the
it at a
roads.
standard 6-ton limit?
What do our signs say?
I don't know, I'll have to look at them.
Yeah, I believe it's 6 tons. I'm sorry, you didn't weigh in, Tim.
Yeah, no, but I just wanted to better
All right,
understand the
so
process.
there it is.
Okay.
Do we need to make that formal, make a motion and approve to post the roads down in Nottingham?
Probably. I'll make a motion to post the roads. Down in Nottingham to limit to 6 ton.
I will second. What are you saying? You want to verify what the signs say?
We post the roads, is how I just state that we're gonna post
Okay.
the roads with a weight limit. The weight limit's already been described.
Yeah.
Rather just not put the number in there, because I know what it is, because it's one we've been doing every single
Yeah.
year, so. I don't know if it's just 35,000 pounds on the sign.
That's
You know,
what
which-
I think it's down in
More
tonnage.
than-
Anyway, I'm sorry.
6 times 3 is 18, so it's not the same, so that's why I'm saying that's why I don't know.
Whatever
it
the
might be
sign said.
35 to whatever the sign.
Do you want to reword it, or you?
You saying change your wording and I'll
Yeah,
second it.
I make a motion to approve posting the roads as the signs say, to limit weight restriction.
I'll second.
Motion made by Tim Beardwell, seconded by John Moore, and roll call.
I'm Matt Sherlin.
Hi, John Moore.
I've been Bartlett.
Hi, Tim DeBrio.
Okay, roads will be posted. Okay, we have no appointments. Action items review for next meetings.
We don't know yet.
Tentatively, we have Seth Peters.
Yeah.
Smoking policy. Like to get that firmed up and off our books here.
Yes.
In regards to Seth Peters, between now and then, in that hard road to travel, there is a section about timber right-of-ways. I recommend reading that section.
Okay.
Has he been in contact? Well, you weren't here last
He
week.
has
so-
not. No, but I don't have any messages from him either.
I wonder if he did contact the conservation. So doesn't mention that we mentioned about him contacting them about maybe them purchasing the land from him and putting it in, conservation easement,
Because it already abuts currently conserved land.
Okay.
so. Might get more money doing that than trying to timber it,
Probably less headache.
probably a lot less headache. So, cause that is good tax money, I mean, it is tax dollars that the town's paying for, so.
All right. Any others for next meeting?
Town Beach.
Town Beach, yes.
I will not be at the next meeting either.
Okay. All right, nothing else? All right, if there's nothing else for action item reviews, as we come to the point in our meeting where I'll open it up to public comments. If anybody in the audience would like to come forward, if not, we will then go into non-public.
There you go.
I'll make a motion to move into non-public RSA 91 dash,
Of course.
oh,
Sorry. Do I have a time limit?
I'm sorry?
Do I have a time limit?
Doesn't appear to be anyone behind you, Mr. Vilchuk, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. Question, where do I find a documented procedure for Board of Selectmen Code of Conduct violations, adjudication, reports, investigations? Does it exist?
Not to my knowledge.
I've never heard of it.
How does one go about reporting a potential Board of Selectmen conduct violation?
Should be addressed to her, to
If
be
you
brought
could
in front
send me
of the board.
something in writing.
Okay. Is there a procedure for reporting a potential oath of office violation as it pertains to the Board of Selectmen?
That is by statute, normally.
There is a, I want to go back, I may interrupt you for 1 second if I may. The Code of Conduct document is relatively new. It was approved in September of 2022. I would expect everybody's familiar with it and probably signed a paper saying that they are familiar with it. No?
Well, yeah, we were presented with it last year when we came on board.
Okay. There is a paragraph in there about adjudication, but it's not very clear and it doesn't really handle all instances. Okay, and I'm sorry, I go back on oath of office.
This is part of the reason we started a policy review in October. We weren't able to go through all the policies, but what we have found is some of the past policies that have been put in place, either the guidance was unclear or, things have changed that cause conflicting guidance, so, I mean, it's very much a work in progress.
Complaint process, the last meeting I was here discussing complaint process, were you able to come up with a
The
document?
complaint policy. I do have a complaint policy where, do you want me to email it to you, or do you want a
Mail it to
physical
me,
copy?
please, yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I can do
And any
that.
forms that are,
Okay, if you could please send me an email and then I can respond to you with it, just so I know that I have the correct email to send it to.
the same one that you've been using before,
Okay.
okay? All right.
Anything else?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Vilchuk. Any others? If there's no others, then,
all right, I'll make a motion to move into non-public RSA 91 dash A:3, 2A and L.
And B.
And B?